Hello and good day everyone, how's it going? I'm Sean David. Let's talk some old school basketball. In today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA legends giving their opinion on how good Allen Iverson was, and even some guys admitting that Iverson kind of destroyed them. But before we start with the show, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot you guys for supporting my show. Enough said, let's start today's episode. Now the first player that I want to take a look at is Kevin Johnson, KJ, one of the most underrated point guards of the 1990s, and his opinion on Allen Iverson.
It's the second consecutive year that we've been up here on this stage. You've been nominated once again. Congratulations on that. How do you feel about that?
I feel very excited until I saw that Allen Iverson was nominated. So this is the honest to God truth. I retired because of Allen Iverson. He came down and he did that crossover thing, and I tried it, and then he laid it up, and then he hit me on the butt running by, and I knew it was time to go.
Now the next player that we're going to take a look at is Chauncey Billups, again one of the most underrated point guards of his generation, but a Finals MVP and an NBA champion. Let's have a look.
One time there, so I want to ask you guys, in your career, who did you not want to face the most?
AI was mine.
All right.
I loved it. It's not that I didn't want to face him, but knowing that it's going to be an uphill battle. You know, I always had a tough time with little, really fast guys. And as you can see right there, he got by me pretty easy.
Bubba Chuck!
But he was just fearless.
Oh,
you know, he was fearless. I mean, he never let up. I mean, he was a warrior. You couldn't bully him. I could bully a lot of guys. You couldn't bully him. I mean, AI was my guy for sure.
Now the next player on my list is Shaquille O'Neal, the Diesel, and he has much love for Allen Iverson, and now you can see why.
Who's your point guard?
I'm gonna go with AI, because he was fearless. He was like me. My thing was any little guy that came in there, I'm gonna touch him up, Ernie. I'm gonna touch him up and lay him down. But he was the only one, besides Gary, he was the only one that just kept coming back. On
the rebound. Iverson putting the move on Bryant. Rejected by O'Neal. 5 blocked shots for Shaquille. O'Neal, while in the midst of that sweeping hook, changed his mind. That was a pass. Iverson around Bryant. Oh, what a move by Allen Iverson.
From one Lakers legend to the other, from Shaquille O'Neal to Kobe Bryant, also Kobe Bryant has a lot of respect for Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson and Shaq were announced as the finalists for the Hall of Fame. I know both guys meant a lot to you. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq obviously on a more personal level, and having played together for so many years, and winning 3 championships, right, and all that he's meant to the game and meant to me personally, and and AI as a competitor, he drove me to be as more obsessive about the game, because I had to figure out how to solve that problem, and I told him when I saw him here this weekend, I said, man, you don't realize how much you push me, and I don't think people nowadays realize how great you were as a player, and how big of a problem you were for defenses. So, I'm happy for them both.
Do you remember how many points you had in that game against Iverson when he scored 60?
No, I don't. He scored 60. We lost. It was a tough loss. I don't remember.
You had 16.
Just a tough competitor, man. Rick, I remember my first year coaching in Toronto. I'm in this little restaurant. I go to a little quiet place. In walks AI. We got a Sunday afternoon game, 12 o'clock. And AI is hanging pretty good, and it's early. And I'm sending them drinks, and I'm like, AI, keep drinking up, keep eating. And he looks at me as he's drinking one of my drinks. He said, Coach, it's not going to work. I love Toronto. I like to put a show on here. And he commenced to coming out and giving us about 49 the next day at 12 o'clock. And to me, pound for pound, one of the most toughest competitors in the NBA. He knew he was going to get hit, knew he was going to get beat, but yet he kept getting up and he kept coming. And so, like Grant said, much deserved, one of the toughest players ever in the history of this game for his side.
The next clip that we're going to take a look at is a very interesting one. You will have some old school players all sharing their opinion on who was the toughest player they ever had to guard.
Like it wasn't there. How about that spin move by Iverson?
toughest guard to defend because of their dribbling ability.
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson.
Hey,
I'm going to have to go with Allen Iverson, man.
Allen Iverson is one of the guys that, because of his speed and quickness, is just hard to guard. Yeah, you have to really, really focus on him.
Well, that's just a monster move by Iverson.
Every minute, every second on the court, you have to know where he is because he is that dominant.
There's not a guard out there that does things like he do on the floor. I mean, he's unbelievable.
That is a sensational move from Allen Iverson. At 6 feet, he is basically unstoppable.
Iverson just come at you and you're like, what's going to happen next?
There, Iverson can do just about anything he wants against anybody in basketball.
AI has been doing it for years. You know, his crossovers, his toughness. One game in Philly, he was just racking the points up.
Iverson flings his way in for 2. How did he do that?
When I just, found myself looking, I'm like, this guy is unbelievable.
He's an assassin, especially in the full court. He can't be stopped.
Says Iverson, held it, and a foul by AI.
The toughest player probably to stop in open court is Allen Iverson. I mean, I think he does a bulk of his damage and scoring in the open court.
The speed that he possesses from baseline to baseline, I don't think it's matched by anyone in this league.
And here come the Sixers on the run. Iverson. Whoa, man, what a move.
It's Iverson behind the back, and he laid it in.
And the next segment that we're going to take a look at is from my favorite show, NBA Open Court, the show where you always have NBA legends talking about this and that. And now they talk about Allen Iverson, and apparently they all are on the same page when it comes to AI.
With the first pick, the Sixers select Allen Iverson.
Iverson, the crossover dribble.
Iverson. Oh, no! Iverson stole the ball. And how do you like that?
Iverson has Jordan. Allen shakes, Ray gets two.
Iverson steps over Toronto.
In the category of missed opportunities and what if and living totally up to potential, does Allen Iverson fit in there at all for any of you here?
No,
I don't think so.
He reached it to.
He maxed out.
He maxed out. I don't think there's any guard that size other than Isaiah that's going to have that career. I don't think anyone.
I think a lot of the guards like Ty Lawson, they thanking Allen Iverson, thanking guys like Isaiah to say, you know what, if I'm 5'10", 5'11", or even 6 foot, I can use my quickness. If I got a jump shot, use the pick and roll. Allen Iverson said that he can get knocked down 100 times, he's getting right back up.
Yeah, but being at 2.
I think he maxed out. Yeah, I don't think he. You won't look at Allen Iverson and say he did not reach his potential. I mean, he was MVP of our league once.
Four-time scoring champion.
Yeah, so
there's nothing. If you get more out of that,
Now the last two players that we're going to take a look at are Jalen Rose and George Lynch. Jalen Rose, obviously you know, but George Lynch played for the Philadelphia 76ers and the Los Angeles Lakers, and he also has very interesting things to say about AI.
So myself, Eric Snow, Aaron McKee, Tyrone Hill, Mutombo, and everybody else on the team.
Yeah.
You have to prepare for a game, your next opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime Coach Brown would stop and coach, that's when he got mad. but I mean, to me, I understood him because he was so gifted and so talented.
Yeah.
I mean, he could draw, he could play football, he could rap. Anything he wanted to do, he could have made millions.
Wow.
I believe.
Wow.
So, but anytime Coach Brown would stop and teach, and it wasn't that he didn't want to learn.
Right.
He was just so talented. He took off a month for a broken finger and came back and scored 30, 40 points. And I'm telling you, no practices, no nothing.
What is the legacy of Allen Iverson?
Oh, huge heart, big-time competitor, prolific scorer, back down to no one, could get to the basket and finish over the top, knock down mid-range shots, could shoot the three, but also not only the numbers, but a cultural icon. Michael Jordan in the 90s, when you talk about his tongue wag, and then in 2000, you talk about Allen Iverson ushering the hip-hop generation to the NBA. Tattoos, cornrows. You didn't see that from an MVP in 2000. That was sort of taboo in the NBA. So for him to show up and still have that flair, that personality, and also be able to connect with different generations across the globe, ultimately, I think those are the things that come back to haunt you in the end when people want to kick you on the way down, kind of like I saw with Barry Bonds in baseball.